And we are back racing night cross. It is week 3 of the Supermarine, and I got off to a good start this week, and you can see Mac is absolutely smashing it. You saw me move straight over because I was like, I need to get in that lad's slipstream because he is motoring. These bloody juniors, they're so fast. They just ripped my legs off. And this first lap was full gas tonight. And I'm not gonna lie, I cannot wait for a few more years when the lad's old enough to buy a beer and things start going downhill with training. Look at him absolutely smashing it out of the corners. But in a couple of years when he's old enough to buy a beer and he's got a full-time job, he will probably still be ripping my legs off and smashing me. But the goal tonight was, I was just clinging on to his wheel for dear life. I thought, I need to try and stay with him as long as I can, but I was not firing tonight. I don't want to make excuses, but I wasn't. And look at him, he's just shifting. You can see out of round the corners I'm all right, but as soon as we get onto the flats, he is opening gaps up on me, and I was an absolute shell of a man. But I'm going to show you the full first lap so you can get a feel for the track, what was going on. We've got the wooded section. It was bone dry tonight. It was like a road race. Last week we got a little bit of mud. This week it was dry, fast. Look, we're doing 29 mile an hour down this section, 27 mile an hour on grass. That is full ponies down here. And the Mac is shifting. But after we've done this first lap, we will get into the nitty gritty of the GC battle. This was a mega race tonight. This was full on, and it was a big GC battle in the senior race. Obviously Mac is out in front at the moment. He's actually in the junior category, and there's a separate senior race, although he goes off at the same time as us. But we're going through a few twisty little sections here, and we then loop back round and back into the woods. So a little bit of a different course, but much the same. We've got the stairs back in this week, but look how quickly he opens up a gap, because as soon as you get out the corner, look at him, mash, 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 strong lad, gets away. But I don't want to make excuses. I have been using these Thursday night ones as training, so you can see Max getting away from me here, and you're probably looking at my heart rate bottom right and thinking it's only at 166. And for an example, at Clanfield Cross, the first league race at Wessex League race, my heart rate maxed out at 190, so I am pretty far off my max heart rate. But using this as training, I'd had a big week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm just throwing out excuses of why this young man is ripping my legs off right now. But we're going into the woods. Yeah, I'd had a big training session Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is Thursday night. I'd even ridden Thursday morning, and I am just using these Thursday ones as training to get my hard efforts in. But through the trees here, this tree on the left here, just there, is the one I whacked into on week 1. So I'm staying well clear of that. But so far, I'm actually clinging on to him. We are 3 minutes 20 in, and I haven't quite let him go. But as I was saying, just like I couldn't get my heart rate up tonight, and that was purely down to fatigue. I was feeling the fatigue in my legs, and I was basically doing whatever I could to hang with him. There's the few stairs, jumping up over that. And then after this section, I think it is where it's absolute game over for me, and Mac leaves me and the rest of the senior race for dead. These bloody juniors, give us a break, Mac. Take it easy on us next week. They love it straight from the gun, absolutely full whack, and it hurts. But what I did want to add, at this point, I don't have the rear camera on, but sitting bang on my wheel is Dave, who is in second place in the GC battle. So I'm in first place, he's in second place. I've got a 1 minute 90 lead on him. So although Mac's going away, goal number 2 in this race now is to stay in front of Dave and put in as much work as I can. But he's a strong guy when it is dry and flat. So I've jumped on a bit here. We're back onto the flat sections, and I'm working hard now. And there is nothing worse than when you're burying yourself on a flat section and you can hear matey's free hub behind you. I could hear Dave's free hub behind me, and I'm like, I'm burying myself right now. I've got no more berries to give, and there's a free hub going on behind me. But I was working really hard, and we jumped forward 7 minutes in, so I did do a few laps on the front, and there is a huge element of drafting at this race, I'm not gonna lie. Like normally in cross, when it's really muddy and the speeds are slow, there's not a massive element of drafting, but round here there is. So when you like come out of this wooded section, you can see Max still, he's not that far ahead, he's just dangling in front, but when I just couldn't get my heart rate up, and that was the problem, just too much fatigue in the legs. Excuses over, because the GC battle is a go, and just here I run wide, and you'll see on the right, this is when it starts to get a bit saucy. In the GC battle, he comes up alongside me, and I'm like, I'm not giving up this place that easily, so I squeeze him out round this corner, and I do not think he liked that at all. But if you ain't rubbing, son, you ain't racing, and you got to do what you can to make it as awkward as possible for people that are about to beat you. But here it is, he starts to ramp it up now, and he comes railing round the outside, and I'm like, if there's one thing I know, I'm gonna sell my soul to stay glued to your back wheel tonight, because your man's leading the GC, and when you're leading the GC, you have got to give it everything you can to cling on to it. Now, I wasn't firing, but I was like, no matter what, I'm going to bury myself. And that little effort there got the heart rate up, and things started to kick in a little bit. I was like, I am not letting you go. Go on, put me in the hurt locker. I am going to glue to your wheel for the next 40 minutes. But boy, oh boy, did Dave turn it up. He started to put the power down, and through these wooded sections, I was thinking, he has got to ease up. Please ease up. We're absolutely railing it through here on the CX bikes. I'm like, please, please, please ease. But what you've got to know in cyclocross, as much as it hurts, sometimes you've just got to bury yourself, because you know the guy in front is hurting just as much as you, and as soon as he eases, you'll be able to get that recovery in. Just here, I made up some time. I was pretty fast up these stairs. Normally, I'm terrible when I've got to dismount and run, but straight away, he's back on it. Look, bang, bang, bang. Absolutely trying to rip my legs off. And the worst bit is, we were good at different points in the race, and he said to me before the race, he was like, how did you do it last week? He was like, I put out more power than week 1 when I beat you, yet this last week you beat me by 2 minutes. And I was like, it was because it was muddy and we weren't able to go full gas on these straights. I was like, my power on the flats is just pathetic. But look, the heart rate's starting to come up now, and I was just like, you've got to bury yourself. Look at this, when he opens it up, he is a strong boy. And I literally think the one thing that is stopping him from beating Mac is probably, look, he's winding it up here, what we're doing, over 20 mile an hour. The one thing that's stopping him from beating Mac is probably the bike handling skills and the cornering. The young guns, the juniors, whiz round them corners, and Dave is super strong on the flats. But as I was saying, once I got on his wheel, I was like, oh my God, it is so different being in the draft. I'm not even exaggerating tonight. There was a little bit of breeze, but just the speed we were going, the drafting benefit, it was like a road race this week. And I was like, I've got to get on this wheel, and if you want to drop me, you're going to have to put the work in tonight. Look, down here, look, mash, mash, mash. He's absolutely pulling the pin on me. Look at the pace he's going. I was in the hurt box. I was just like, when's this going to ease? When's this going to ease? We're doing 24 mile an hour. I think we go even faster than that down here. Look, 27 mile an hour on grass. I was like, come on. Ease a touch. But the difference between being on the front and being in the wheels was absolutely crazy tonight. And I thought to myself, I'm not coming back through, mate. I apologise. This is me on the rivet tonight. This is all I've got to give. What are we? We're 16 minutes in, and I just thought, I've got to glue to his wheel, because if you let that wheel go and I've got to start doing these straights on my my own, he's soon going to make some serious time on me in the GC. But look, he was just railing it and giving it the absolute berries. And I was just like, today, I'm not letting you go. This is it. I've got to make it hurt as much as I can. Look, up through here, we're getting onto some back markers now. It gets a little bit tricky when you're getting through back markers. And it's a chance, like, you can lose distance here with the person you're racing. So it's all about being glued to the wheel and making yourself suffer. But look at him, knee out, giving it out the corner, smashing it. And just here, the pace finally eased. You could see him looking at me. And he was looking at me like, come on, mate, you got to pull through and do a turn. And I'm like, nah, I ain't going through. If you want to beat me today, you got to drop me, because I am going to sit on your wheel and I'm going to be an absolute wheel sucker and make you do all of the work while I get the benefit of the draft. Think what you want, but when you're in a bad way and there's a GC battle on, you've got to do what you've got to do to stay in front in the race and at the pointy end. So that is what I've done, and he decided to take it up again, give it a whack down here, and I was just like, not today, my man. I'm gonna just stay there and I'm gonna make you work for this. But look at it, bash, bash, bash. You are not going to get a gap on me tonight. I was just telling myself, I was thinking, what would Dad be shouting at me now? He'd be like, going absolutely nuts. Make it hurt, make it hurt. Come on, do not let that wheel go. And that is what I was saying to myself the whole race. And then I think it's just here, the pace eased again. And I think he flicks his elbow. And just there, look, you saw that little elbow flick and he's trying to pull me through, and I'm thinking, I really don't want to go through. So I let the pace ease. You can see the heart rate's gone up now. I've let the pace ease. In doing that though, Callum, who was just off the back of us, did catch up to our group. So now there's a battle. There's 3 of us. I did come through to the front because I thought I was being a bit of a chopper. I mean, it was 25 minutes I sat on his wheel. So I did come through. But one thing you'll notice is I'm not actually railing it through here. I'm not pushing hard. I'm just making sure I keep the pedals turning, make it look like I'm doing some work, and then down here, they decide to come back past me. So Dave comes back past, and I think Callum does as well. So now I'm like, the battle is on. There's 3 of us battling out for the senior men's race, and also we are battling out for the GC. And just here, they start battling each other a bit, and I'm like, I'm happy to let this happen, because every little dig you do to try and get past someone, and these little battles here trying to get past and battling with each other, takes it out of your legs. So if I'm just sat on and getting this free ride, getting a little bit of draft, I'm like, that's easy. Let these 2 battle it out. I can recover a bit. You can see the heart rate's dropped a bit, but Dave didn't like it and he's gone to whack it again. And I thought, I've got to go with that round the outside of Callum, and I'm straight back on his wheel. Look, 25 mile an hour in a cross race. I've never done this sort of speed. I don't do this sort of speed on the road. And he's absolutely ripping my legs off on a grass cross circuit. I told you, he is a strong, strong boy. I want to say he's a first cat cyclist. He rides for the old No Pins team, and they are a quick team. But just here is when the monumental attack comes in. So he starts to ramp it up on this flat section. We go over these little bumps, and then bang, he absolutely pulls the pin down here. And a little gap started to open, and I was thinking, my legs cannot take this right now. My legs are screaming at me. But I was like, you got to put this one effort in and he will ease. If he can hear you on his wheel still, he'll ease. And it did ease. That was a monumental attack though. We got up into the woods, and I think he realised he wasn't going to shift me to... Oh, he was close to the tree there. Love it. Getting that knee out. I think he realised that I was just an absolute pit bull terrier on his wheel tonight. But he kept still, giving it a good old whack. And I think we're coming into potentially the last lap or so here. He's taking a drink now, and I'm thinking, here we go. It is about to wind up. We are battling it out for the win, and we are battling it out to try and stay top of the GC. So I'm thinking I've got to just be stuck there. Do not let any gaps open and just make it hurt one last time. Give it the ponies and make it hurt. And this here is when it got a little bit, look, we hit back markers and he went for a sneaky little nudge round there after the back markers. You sneaky man. A little attack there, but nothing came of it. And then we're coming through the woods and he was railing it on this lap through the woods. And I'm thinking, do not hit a bloody tree. These trees jump out on you, I tell you. I was like, do not hit a tree. We're coming into the stairs here and he has a nightmare. And I'm like, I'll take that opportunity. I'll go to the front and I'll try and take it up from the front. And this is where the biggest mistake come in from me. I was on the front coming through these wooded section, and you come out of these woods. We've got probably under 2 minutes of racing now. You come out into this drag and you'll see my light. I start looking to the left, I think it is, because I'm looking over there, and then you'll see I look again. I'm waiting and I'm thinking, when are they going to attack me? When is Dave and Callum going to come round? Look, you can keep seeing my lamp go to the left, because I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm waiting for the attack. What I should have done is got my head down and got into the single track first. And I didn't do that. And that was the attack there. He came round me and he got into the single track first. And he said to me after the race, in the single track, I was stronger through the woods, and there was a little S-bend shape before we came out into the last section. I'm going to play the end of this. There was a little S-shaped section, and I was just gapping him slightly. So he said to me he needed to be in the woods first. It was this second bit. This was the big mistake. I should have tried to go round him here, and he knew that. So he put down a big surge to make sure he got into this wooded section. Just there, I should have nipped up the inside, but I saw the rider, the back marker as well in front, and I thought, no, but this is the corner in here where he said I was gapping him. You can see I was having to slow down there, and I've glued to his wheel. But we're coming out of the last corner, and it is gonna be a full gas drag race to the finish. So straight out of this corner, it was full ponies. Look at him out the saddle, bang, 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 and I am hanging on for dear life. I'm like, just getting the slipstream. Hopefully he makes a mistake and you can come round him. But he is giving it the berries. God knows what power he's putting out. But in all honesty, there is zero chance of me getting round him. I was going, look, 28 mile an hour. And Dave took the win and I come home in second. But thankfully, there was no loss in the GC because I was only 0.6 of a second behind him. But oh my God, the lad's got some power. And down that final straight, I should have got into the single track before him. There was a little bit of fatigue in the legs. I was struggling on the night to just get firing, but there was zero chance in that final sprint down the grass straight that I was going to get past him. But super happy with the result. Came away on tired legs with second place and no loss in the GC, which is good. So I'm still clinging on to first place. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you in the next one.